Hello, so here we will go through the 1 week course on form that the transportation and automobile design students went through. Form is the shape, structure, and visual character of an object. It is the first thing we notice and interact with, and such it creates an immediate connection to our thoughts and our perceptions. Form brings meaning to an object by shaping how we interpret it, its purpose and function. It has the power to evoke emotion, fulfill needs, and influence how people engage with it. Form is a key element that any industrial designer or designer must understand. The transportation and automobile design students began their form course with a foundational exercise in understanding two-dimensional shapes and forms. They were provided with a 4 by 4 grid and tasked with creating shapes or forms within specific constraints. Each shape had to touch all four sides of the square grid, and the students were allowed a maximum of 6 cuts to craft their forms. Using Indian ink to fill these shapes gave them a definite and opaque appearance, enhancing the visual impact. Once a variety of 2D forms were created, one distinctive form was selected as the mother form, a form with a unique character and identity. Students then explored size variations of this mother form, scaling it up and down to observe whether its core character remained consistent. The next step involved radii manipulation. Students started by applying a radius to one vertex of the mother form and progressively adjusted its magnitude. They explored combinations by adding radii to two or more vertices, observing how these changes affected the form's character. After the manipulation exercises, discussions were held to analyze how the new forms evolved and how they still connected back to the original mother form. Following this, students applied radii to all vertices of the mother form, increasing the radii in 13 steps to the maximum. The odd number of steps allowed them to clearly see the midpoint and the two extremes of the transformation. This exercise revealed the point where the form started to lose its original character and transitioned into a completely new identity. Through these explorations, students developed a sensitivity to how subtle changes in radius can significantly alter a form's identity, helping them understand the balance between preserving and evolving a design. The next exercise involved combining any 2D primitive forms from a given set to create a new form. Once the new forms were developed, students applied radii manipulation to observe and analyze how these modifications influence the overall shape and character of the form. In the next phase, students received a keyword or emotion and were tasked with conveying it through a series of images to their peers and their faculty. They then presented their work, engaging in active feedback and critical discussion sessions. Moving forward, they paired up and combined their respective keywords or emotions and created another set of images that had to capture both these keywords or both the emotions together in each image. Discussions were held among everyone to understand how these emotions and images
Is it getting more
related
intense
and
now?
how can one
Yeah.
create an emotion or a keyword into an image. The students also very briefly did a bubble sorting exercise with certain category of vehicles. Taking it further, each student translated their individual keyword or emotion into a physical form in high density thermocol. They then explored variations of these forms, manipulating them across a spectrum ranging from simple to complex on one axis and soft to sharp on the other. And they had to come up with a grid that showcased these nine forms with the mother form in the middle. As you go upwards, it becomes complex, and you move downwards, it becomes simple. Whereas if you go to the left, it becomes softer, and to the right, it becomes sharper. This exercise helped them develop a keen sensitivity to surface and volume modifications, allowing subtle shifts in expression while maintaining the core intent and structure of the form. So, keeping the core emotion of the form the same, they learn to manipulate it so that it becomes a softer, a sharper, simpler, or a complex, or a combination of these attributes for their mother form. In the final phase of the course, students translated their learning into an object or a part within the automotive domain. They were tasked with designing an outside rear view mirror that embodied their chosen keyword or emotion. The process began with initial sketches to visualize their ideas, followed by sculpting the forms in thermocol. They then refined their models by applying a layer of putty and carefully sanding the surfaces to achieve the final finish. This was then showcased, and this completed their final deliverable for the course, bringing together their understanding of form, emotion, and surface refinements. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.